Okay, so sadly, on to our very last track of this week's Rock Empire Fridays, thanks to Sammy. But fear not, there will be a continuation next week, and the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that, and the week, you know where I'm going. But yes, this one over here is Tremonti, All I Was. We actually just came off two absolute heaters back to back. It was Tremonti in one piece, Alter Bridge Holiday. Absolutely fantastic. They've all been fantastic today, right? I actually kind of feel like they don't make bad music. I think you really got value for your money. If this was like back in the day where you would buy a CD, you know, remember when you used to go buy CDs and then you'd have an album of like 14 tracks and you only liked like 4, right? You kind of felt like you were cheated in some way. I don't feel that Alter Bridge and Tremonti fans get cheated with their albums, because their albums are just phenomenal, right? Every track is just so damn good. But this one over here is Tremonti, All I Was. Obviously, we've never reacted to this one. This one is going to wrap up Sammy's Rock Empire Fridays for this week. But like you know, we will be back next week. So yeah, and for those of you who are only joining us now, you're already on the second week of this, so you need to go back to last week's Rock Empire Friday reactions and do those ones if you haven't done them already, and you have to go back to the beginning of this week's Empire Friday, because we're already 4 down. We're on the very last one, so you're catching this at the very arse end of this series for today. But let's rock and roll. Tremonti, All I Was. Let's wrap it up. Love the instrumentation, but I can see where he's actually going with this in terms of All I Was. He's kind of like speaking to the person he was, the person he wanted to be. So there was an aspiration in the beginning, right? As there always is when growing up. You have an aspiration for yourself. You literally say, this is, you kind of sort of project your life into the future, and you say, okay, along these points, this is what I want to be. I want to be this in 10 years. I want to be this wealthy, this successful. I want to have this, that, and the next thing, right? And then as you actively live through that life, and you go through all of those different strifes, and you go through all of those sort of roadblocks, and you go through the bumps, and you know, you start realizing that while you treading this road, it's actually shaping you into something that you never thought you would be, right? It can either be for the better, it can be for the worse. And then you get to have that beautiful little thing we do and look back at what we could have been or look back at what we were, essentially. And that could be negative, that could be positive. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it could be that you were a better person and today you're a worse person, which means that at least it's giving you some sort of reference to sort of fix your tomorrow. Or you could have been a worse person today, you're a better person, which means it gives you some sort of reference to stay on that path for an improved tomorrow. So it's kind of like rectifying your past, but it doesn't actually matter which way around that, right? You're still always introspecting on who you were and who you will always be. And that's going to be a daily thing, right? Every single day, you're going to look back at yesterday and say, who was I yesterday? Who am I today? And how will my today shape my tomorrow, right? And your day-to-day might shape your tomorrow in a negative way. Your day-to-day might shape your tomorrow in a positive way. Either way, I see it as positive either way, because you're going to learn something, even if it's something that doesn't shape your tomorrow the way you want it to shape, but at least you got the lesson tomorrow. You've still got, it's almost like a Gantt chart. You can look back and you can see exactly the moments where you sort of twisted reality and you got yourself out of where you want it to be, and you can always come back in, right, and just keep that timeline all of the time, looking back, and it's like, these were my moments of improvement, this is where things changed for me, right? It's very Gantt charty to a certain perspective, do you know what I mean? But anyway, you guys let me know what you think, but other than that, this track is fire. Let's go. Again, I say, isolate those fucking instruments in your head and just realize the fucking level of skill and talent that it takes to play those instruments at that kind of level. It's mad. It really is insane. Uh-oh. Like that song. Listen, I'm being dead honest when I say this. This track just a couple of months ago, I would have been like, not a fuck. Not a fuck. Why is it so chaotic, this track? But it's just, that's a crazy thing when you actually learn to appreciate something. You know, when you have a limited knowledge about something, and then you sort of just work your way through it, whether you like it or you don't, whether it's against your better nature, you work your way through it, and you start actually acquiring somewhat of an appreciation for it. Do you know what I mean? And I think we're there. I think we're literally over that bridge, right? Where I've started acquiring an appreciation for the music that this really is. And like I tell you, what really helps is me just actually isolating the instrumentation, because when you isolate the instrumentation, you have a very different appreciation of the track, because it's just brilliant levels of skill and talent to play instruments at that level. But the one thing about Tremonti and Alter Bridge, I think that makes it far more palatable, is the fact that it's not just heavy all the way through. Their heavy tracks always have that underlying melodic element to it, right? That still keep you intrigued and keeps you engaged with the track. I think they are absolutely frighteningly good, right? Absolutely, it's been one hell of a journey doing this Tremonti and Alter Bridge. It's unbelievable. We are nowhere. I'm just amalgamating, nowhere. And we are nowhere done. Let me put it that way. And we've got many weeks for you where we'll be wrapping up Alter Bridge and Tremonti. I love you all. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you next week. Peace!